Greetings once again. I welcome you to my YouTube channel. In this video, we'll be dealing with paper 2. Table 1 below shows the list of mathematical trace terms or concept in column A with descriptions in column B. Choose the description from column A that matches the term or concept in column A. Write only the letter A to I next to the question numbers 1.1.1 to 1.1.4. So we have 1.1.1 up to 1.1.4, 1.1.2, 1.1.3, and 1.1.4. So the first question is 1.1.1, which is a scale ratio. Scale ratio is I. It's a number scaled. Scale ratio is the same as number scaled. Then the answer for this one is I. 1.1.2. 1.1.2, it says grams in 1 ton. Grams in 1 ton, we know this one is B, is 1 million. B, which is 1 million. 1.1.3, surface area of a cylinder. We know this one is given by H, is 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by radius squared plus 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by radius multiplied by height, which is H. 1.1.4, the floor plan. Floor plan is obvious. We know it's a plan that shows the layout of a building as seen from above, which is G. So we move to 1.2. 1.2.1, 1.2.2, 1.2.3, and 1.2.4. It says, in each of the statement below, choose the correct word or words from those given in the brackets to make the statement true. Write only the word or words from the question numbers 1.2.1 up to 1.2.4. So the first one, it says, a probability is always less than or greater than or equals to 1. So what is the answer? Is less than. Probability is always less than or equals to 1. So the correct answer here is less than. Less than. Moving to the next question. When calculating the amount of medicine to administer to toddler, we round down. We must always round down to decimal answers in milliliters. So this one is, the answer here is down. You must always round down, because if you round up, you're going to overdose the toddler. The next question, 1.2.3, it says a flow rate of 12.5 liters per hour is equals to 25 liters in 2 hours. In 2 hours. In 2 hours. The correct answer there is 2. 1.2.4. An elevation plan of a building is a 2D representation of the building. An elevation plan is 2D. We only see two sides of this. That's why we say that is a 2D. So this was 1.1 up to 1.2. Yes, question 3. Let's move to question 3. 3.1.1. It says, Miss Homo is a grade 2 teacher at Happy Valley Primary School. She has a reading corner at the back of her classroom. Learners who wait for their transport after school usually sit there and read a book. Miss Homo stores pillows in bags. See the picture below. Learners sit on these pillows after school. So if you can see here, we can see the pillows in the bag. If you can see, if you can look at this bag, we can see that we are having 4 pillows per one bag. We have the dimension of the bag. The width is 30 centimeters. The length is 46 centimeters. Then the height is 48 centimeters. You should not forget that this bag accommodates 4 pillows inside of it. So now the first question says, the school, they end at 12:55. Tendai's father was late and only came to fetch him at 14:13. Determine how long Tendai sat in the reading corner. So we can see that this person, Tendai, he sat from 14:30 up to from 12:55 up to 14:31. So we can say that to calculate this is this. We can say 14:13 minus 12:55. So let's go and check how long he was sitting in there. We use a calculator. This is our calculator. We are going to say 14, we press this. 13, we press this. Minus 12, we press this. I'm talking about the button written fact on the cashew. And then 55, we press this again. We can see that is 1 hour 18 minutes. 1 hour 18 minutes. 1 hour and 18 minutes. Then we move to 3.1.2. 3.1.2, it says the height of one pillow is 11 centimeters. Determine the difference between the total height of the pillow in one bag and the height of the bag. Determine the difference between the total height of the pillows in one bag, okay, and the height of a bag. Okay, we should not forget that the height of a bag is 48 centimeters. And the height of a one pillow we can say is given as 11 centimeters. And we can see that inside this bag we have 4 pillows. So we can say the height of 4 pillows is going to be 11 multiplied by 4. You can do the calculation to say 11 multiplied by 4. It gives us 44 centimeters. So 4 pillows, they only take up to 44 centimeters. Then the difference between the two is going to be 48 minus 44. What is 48 minus 44? We know that the difference is going to be 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters. Somebody can ask, how do you tell that we are having 4 pillows inside this bag? You can see that it's visible. If you can see in the transparent part of this bag, you can see that we are having 4 pillows in there. It's very much visible. So moving to the next question, which is 3.1. 3.1.3. 3.1.3, it says the pimping around the bottom edge of some of the bags for the pillows need to be replaced. The stores sell the piping in half meters length. Calculate the total length of piping she will have to purchase to replace the piping around the bottom edge of 4 bags. You may use the perimeter. Perimeter is a distance around, okay? Perimeter is equals to 2 multiplied by length plus width. So if you can check here, we are going to say 2 multiplied by the length of a bag. If you look at the length of a bag here is 46, plus the width of a bag, which is given by 30. So we're having 2 brackets means multiplication. 2 multiplied by, we're gonna say 46 plus 30. 46 plus 30. You can see that I'm always using a calculator. Make sure that you always use a calculator. Avoid using your mind, because you can make mistakes in exam and you cannot afford to do that. So 46 plus 30 is 76. Then we say 76 multiplied by 2 is 152. It's 152 centimeters. They need to replace 172 centimeters per bag. And how many bags are they talking about? They're saying that is for 4 bags. So we are now going to say 152 multiplied by 4 bags. We're going to find that the total is 6 or 8 centimeters. They need to buy the material that will cover 6 or 8 centimeters. 6 or 8 centimeters. And you should not forget that they are selling this in what? In half meters. So we are having what? Centimeters and half meters. We can see that we cannot do calculation with different units. We must convert this to meters so that we can have the same units. So how do we convert to the same units? We use the King Harry method. King Harry died miserable death called malaria. We know it's 1,0,0,0,0,0. So we are converting from centimeters to meters, which is meters here, to centimeters. We can see that the conversion factor between the two is 100. So for us to convert this 608 centimeters to meters, we must divide it by what? By 100. We are now going to say is equals to 608 divided by 100. It will give 6,08 meters. So because they are selling this in halves, so in this case they must buy what? 6,5 meters. We move to the next question. It says, Ms. Homu created a birthday calendar for her 2024 class to hang against the wall. She will write each learner's name and birthday on the small circular wooden tag and attach the tag to the correct month. The circular wooden tag has a circular hole to attach a ring that is used to hang the tag. The area of a circular hole is given as 0,3142 centimeters squared. Every year she paints the front surface area of the circular wooden tags. The spread rate of the paint is 6 meters squared per 1 liter. Then we have the picture and the diagram. We can see that this was Annette, 6th of April. We have the circular hole then. And then we are given the diameter, which is 8 centimeters. If they can ask us about the radius, we're just going to say 8 divided by 2 is going to be equals to 4. So the distance that this 8 that you see here is a diameter. It's a distance from a circumference to another circumference of a circle. Then the first question says that determine in centimeter the circumference of the circular wooden tag. You may use the following equation. So they've given us the equation to say that we are going to say the circumference is equals to 3,142 multiplied by what? Multiplied by a diameter. In this case, we said a diameter is equals to 8. A diameter is equals to 8. So we continue using our calculator for this. We are now going to say 3,142 multiplied by 8. It gives us what? 25,1 0.36. The units used here is centimeters, and then this is centimeters. Then we move to 3.2.2. 3.2.2, it says, determine in centimeters the radius of one circular wooden tag. Radius is going to be 8 divided by 2, which is equals to 4 centimeters. Because we know that radius, we divide diameter by 2, and we know that our diameter in this case is equals to 8. So just say 8 divided by 2, it gives us 4 centimeters. 3.2.3. 3.2.3, it says that the hardware store sells paint in 50 milliliters, 1 liter, 5 liter, and 20 liter containers. Ms. Homu claimed that a 50 milliliter can of paint will be sufficient to paint one side of 36 circular wooden tags. Verify a statement, show all calculation, use the following formula. Now they've given us the formula that we need to use to verify her claim. So if you can see here, we need to check if her claim is correct or not. So let's check her claim. Let's look at the area of a circle. How do we calculate the area of this entire circle? We are going to say the area of a circle. Area of a circle is going to be given by what? Pi multiplied by radius squared. I believe you still remember this equation. And then is given here. So our pi in this case is 3,142 multiplied by the radius. We calculated radius to say is 4 squared. So let's use our calculator. We are having 3,142 multiplied by 4 squared. This is area, you should not forget. Now we are getting that our area is 50,272. The units used here is centimeter squared. Area is always measured in squared. We should not forget that. And then this is the area of the whole circle. If you remember, this circle, this circular tag is having a hole on it, and you are not going to paint that hole because hole is empty. So we should remove that hole from this area of the entire wooden tag. So we are going to say the area to be painted. Area to be painted is going to be 50,272 minus the area of that hole is given as what? 0,3142. So we just have to remove the area of the hole So we're gonna say this minus 0,3142, and then we found that the area to be painted is 49,9578 centimeter squared. So this is the area that is going to be painted. But don't forget, this area is for a one circular tag. And now she talked about what? 36 of them. We're going to say the total area. The total area is going to be 49,9578 multiplied by 36, because there are 36 circular tags that need to be painted. So when we multiply this by 36, we found that is amount to 1,787,61696 centimeter squared. This is the area that need to be painted. This is the area that need to be painted in centimeters. So after reaching this step, when we go back to the question, they say that a paint is 6 meters per liters. So we can see what we have here is in what? What we have here is in centimeters. We must convert this to what? To meters squared. So how do you convert this to meters squared? Very simple. We go back straight to the King Henry the King Harry died miserable death called malaria. Let me use a different pen for this, because there's something which is very much important here. Conversion. We're going to say the King Harry died miserable death called malaria, which is 1,0,0,0,0,0. So now we look for meters and centimeters. We can see that meters is here and centimeters is there. The converting factor between centimeters and meters is 100. But between centimeters squared to meters squared is going to be 100 squared. You should not forget that. That is the most important thing that you need to remember, is that the converting factor between meters and centimeter is 100. But between centimeter squared and meter squared is 100 squared. You should not forget that. So for us to convert this to meter squared, instead of dividing by 100, we are now going to divide by what? 100 squared. We must divide here by 100 squared. I explain why do we divide by 100 squared. So you take your calculator. I already have this here. I'm just going to say divide by 100 squared. Now I found that this entire is the same as 0,17871,696 meters squared. Now I've converted this to meters squared. And the claim says that she have decided to buy 50 milliliters. We have to prove if this 50 milliliters will be able to cover 0,17871,696 meters squared. So how do we deal with that? So we are now going to say, according to the information that we have here, we now want to check if this paint that is bought is going to cover this area. And we should not forget, they've given us to say 6 meter squared will be covered by 1 liter. And then again, we know that 1 liter is the same as 1,000 milliliters, which is the same as 6 meters squared is equal to 1,000 milliliters. I believe we are together then. And then from here, let me write it here. 6 meters squared is equal to 1,000 milliliters. And this person bought 50 milliliters. We want to check if it will be able to cover this area that we have here. Then we can see this and this cancel. Then when we cross multiply here, we are going to have 1,000 x is equal to, then we say 6 multiplied by 50. 6 multiplied by 50 is 300 meters squared. Then we divide everything by 1,000, divide everything by 1,000. This and this we cancel. Then x is now going to be 100 divided by 1,000. We found that is 0,3 meters squared. So this 50 milliliter is going to cover 0,3 meters squared. And the text, the total area to be painted is 0,17 meters squared. You can see this, the paint is going to be able to cover this area because the area is less than, the area to be painted is less than the paint in meters squared. So we can say that valid because 0,178 is less than 0,3. So this is how we answer this question. Moving to the next question. On each learner's birthday, the learner receives a cubic shaped packet of homemade sweets as shown in the diagram and picture below. So we can see the diagram and the picture there is fine. Use the diagram above to answer the questions that follows. The first question says, which is 3.3.1, the volume of a cubic shaped packet is 2,744 centimeters. Calculate the side length of the cubic shaped pocket. You may use the following formula. Now they will say we may use this volume is equals to side multiplied by side multiplied by side. So if you check here, this is a cubic. Cubic is coming from the word cube. And we know that cube, they are having the same side. All the sides of a cube are equal. And they've given us what? The volume. So under volume, we are now going to write what? Under volume, we are now going to write 2,744 centimeter cube, which is equals to S multiplied by S multiplied by S is going to be S cube. We're having 3 S's there. That's why we're having X cube. So for you to be able to find the side of this, you have to cube root all this side. The cube root, you have to take the cube root. Let me use a different pens. You're gonna say the cube root of this and the cube root of that. So after cube rooting all the side, this cube and this cube root, they will cancel. You're gonna remain with side. Then you use a calculator. When you use a calculator, you are not going to say 3 square root. This is incorrect. This is 3 multiplied by the square root. So the cube root, you just say shift. Okay, let me put it closer. When you deal with a cube root, you're going to say shift. You press this one. You can see that where is the 3. The 3 becomes on top of the square root there. Then you write this number, which is 2,744. Then the answer is going to be 14. The answer is going to be 14. Don't forget, this cube and this is also going to cancel. We have centimeters. So the side is equals to 14 centimeters. The side is equals to 14 centimeters. Now we move to the next question. 3.3.2. 3.3.2, it says, there are 35 different colored sheets in each packet. The table below shows the number of sheets per color. And then if we look at this table, we can see blue, there are 4, purples, there are 5, pink, there are 8, orange, there are 11, yellow, there are 7. Determine the probability as decimal of randomly choosing a pink or a yellow sheet from the packet. So the probability is going to be the total. Don't forget the total. The favored or favorable outcome. Favorable outcome over the total. And then the favorable outcome here is pink or yellow. Pink or yellow. Divide by the total. Total is everything. Blue, purple, pink, orange, and yellow. So what we need to do here is to add the total of everything. We are just going to say 4 plus 5 plus 8 plus 11 plus 7. We can see that with a calculator, it gives us 35. And then let's go and add the favorable one, which is pink and yellow. Pink here is 8, yellow is 7. What is 8 plus 7 is 15. So we are going to have 15 over 35. They said as what? As decimal. You just take your calculator. You say 15 divided by 35. 15 divided by 35, it gives us 7 over 3, and then you press this SD. You just press SD, it will give you this as decimal, 0.4285714,286. Decimal, they said as decimal. So as decimal, this is the same as 0.4285714,286. It's very much advisable for you to write everything after a comma. And then the final stage, that's where you're going to round this to 2 decimal places, which is the same as 0.43. 0.43. This is the end of question 3. We are moving to the next question. We move to question 4. Question 4, it reads, Nikita wants to open her own pet shop. The operating hours of the pet shop are given in table 4 below. Monday to Friday is from 7:30 to 5 o'clock. Saturday is 8 to 1 o'clock. Sunday is closed. Nikita will sell fish tank in the shape of mini aquarium blocks as shown in the pictures and diagram below. So if you can see, we can see the pictures there. What is happening there? The diagram, we have the length, the width, and the height. The inner length is 11.6 centimeters. Inner width is 7.6 centimeters. Inner height is 10.5 centimeters. Note that 1 centimeter cube is the same as 1 milliliters. The first question says that determine in simplified format the ratio of the length to the width of the mini aquarium block tank. The ratio of the length, they say the ratio of the length to the what? To the width. You should not forget, you're not allowed to interchange this. If they say width, you must begin with a width. So if you look here, the width is given by what? They say determine the ratio of the length to the width. So we begin with the length, which is 11.6. 11.6 is to the width is 7, what? 7.6. 11.6 is to 7.6. Simplified. So when they say simplified, you should get a number that which when you multiply the 2 or divide by the 2, you don't get a decimal. You just have to get rid of what? Of a decimal. In this case, if you can multiply everything by 2.5, I think it will remove that decimal. Let's say 11.6 multiplied by 2.5. We found that is 29. We are now going to have 29 is to, let's say 7.6 multiplied by 2.5 also. 7.6 multiplied by this is 19. 19. So we're having 29 is to 19. This is a simplified ratio. We don't have a decimal anymore. So we move to 4.1.2. 4.1.2 says, calculate the total number of hours the pet shop will be open in 1 operating week. Meaning that we have to calculate to check how many hours is this going to be working in what? In 1 week. So we know that from Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday is 7:30 to what? To 17. So we are now going to say is 17:00 minus 07:30. Then we use a calculator to find the number of hours and minutes it operates during the week. So we take our calculator. We're going to say 17, then we press this, and then 00 we press this, minus 7 we press this, 30 we press that. We can see that it's 9 hours 30 minutes during the week. 9 hours 30 minutes during the week. So this one, people, you don't forget, is for a 1 day. Is for a 1 day. And we're having how many days? We're having 5 days. So let's multiply this by 5 to find the total hours that they are going to operate. So just multiply this by 5. We found that it's 47 and 30 minutes. 47 hours and 30 minutes from Monday to Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is 47 hours and 30 minutes. So we go to Saturday. Let's go to Saturday. Saturday, if we can check here, is 1300 and 800. Let's find this using the calculator again. We're going to say 13. You press this. I'm talking about this button. I believe you can see this one. The one is like we're having a dots or inverted commas. That's what we do. So after pressing it, I hope you can see that on top of our number, we are having something like a square. And then you say 0, 0, 0, 0. You press that again. Minus 8, you press that again. 0, 0, you press that again. If you make a mistake and forget to press it, you are not going to get the correct answer. Then we found that it's 5 hours and 0 minutes. 5 hours and 0 minutes. So Saturday is 5 hours. Saturday is 5 hours. And then the question is, determine the number of hours. Determine the number of hours. They don't want minutes. They want us to determine the number of hours. So we can just divide this 80 here by 60 so that we can convert it to what? To hours also. Then we just say 30 divided by 60. It gives us what? 0.5. So it means that from Monday to Friday, it is 47.5 hours plus the 5 hours of Saturday. 5 hours of Saturday. So at the end of the entire week, they are now having 47.5 plus 5 is 52.5 hours. 52.5 hours. They operate for 52.5 hours. That's how much they operate. That's how much they operate. Moving to the next question. Let's look at the next question. It says that each mini aquarium tank will contain 75% of its capacity in water. Determine the amount of water left over in the jug, which is 1000 milliliters, after filling one mini aquarium tank with water. You may use that formula. They say that we may use the formula, which is V is equals to length multiplied by width multiplied by height. So if we check here, go back to our dimension, we can see that our length here is 11.6. 11.6 multiplied by our width 7.6 multiplied by our height, which is 10.5. Let's do the calculations and see what we get. 11.6 multiplied by 7.6 multiplied by 10.5. We found that the volume of this is 925.68 centimeters cube. Volume is always measured in what? In cube. And again, the capacity, you should not forget that. Let's see. Okay. Okay, now we have to convert this to what? We have to convert this to liters. We know that we are given 1 centimeter cube is the same as 1 milliliter. So therefore, the capacity is still going to be 925.68 milliliters. Then the water volume is 75. Water volume is 75%. They said it's 75%. So because it's 75%, we are going to say 75 over 100 multiplied by 925.68. We are going to find this being multiplied by 75 over 100 is 694. 694.26 milliliters. So the water in here is going to be 694.26, and the leftover is going to be 1000. Don't forget, they say it's 1000. Okay, the jug is 1000 milliliters. 1000 minus 694.26. So we just find the difference to say 1000 minus the answer that we had is, the difference here is 305.74 milliliters. This is the leftover. This is the water that will be left after filling in the aquarium there. So the first thing that we need to do is to calculate the volume. We find that the volume is in what? Is in centimeter cube. And don't forget that the jug is in milliliters. We must convert to the same units. We convert from centimeters cube to liters by using the given relationship. Then from there we calculate the 75% of water of the volume, of water volume. Yes, I'm correct. After finding the 75%, you just find the difference from that 1000. Then you are done with that equation. We move to the next question. We move to the next question. We move to 4.2. 4.2, it says that Nikita received the different pieces of assembling the mini aquarium tank. The picture below shows the different steps required to assemble one mini aquarium. You may assume that the color of the frame of the tank are the same in all pictures below. Okay, we have A, B, C, D, E, F. You can see what's happening there by the look of the hands. Then choose a picture above that will match the written instruction below. Write down only the letter A, B, C, D, E, or F of the picture next to the question number, e.g. 4.2.7 each. Okay, so now we are having 4.2.1 up to 6. 4.2.5, 4.2.6. So the first one is say that place the outer frame over the transparent inner to cover it. Is happening at what? Happening at D. Is happening at D. Then we move to the next one. 4.2.2. Pull in opposite direction to open the mini aquarium. Opposite direction, we can see that is happening at A. 3. The hole is for feeding or to put in a light. We can see it's happening where at F. We are having the hole at F. 4.2.4, it says that one hand will hold the transparent inner tank while the other hand will hold the outer frame. This one is happening where at B we can see the two hands there. 4.2.5, it says add water and decorating items as you like. Where is the water being added? We can see that it's happening where? At C. That's why we're having decoration and stuff at C. Then number 4.2.6, close tightly by pressing down on the outer frame. Where is it happening, the pressing? The pressing is happening at E. Pressing is happening at E. So 6 marks for free. Assembling. Then we move to 4.3. Then we have 4.3.1. It says that Nikita decided to assemble a few of the mini aquarium and mount them against the wall at the front desk. There is a 5 centimeter space between each aquarium tank along the length of the wall. In every odd row, the mini aquarium tanks start and end against the wall. In the even row, the mini aquarium tank start at space D from the wall. On the either side of the row, see the picture see the pattern in the picture below. So we can see that we have that picture. You can see the way you have arranged them. We can see everything there. Aquarial, the mini tank outer layer is 12 centimeters. Outer width, outer length, 12 centimeters. Outer width is 8. Then outer height is 4.3 inches. We can see that now we are having what different units. We cannot work with different units. Before you do calculations, you must understand that you must convert to the same units first. Dimension of the wall at the front desk, we are having the length of 199 centimeters, height of 100 centimeters. Note that 1 millimeters is equals to 0.0394 inches for conversion purposes. The first question, it says that determine in centimeters the height of 1 mini aquarium tank. The height. So if you can check there, we are given the height as what? We are given the height as 4.3 inches. They want us to convert that to centimeters. We have to do some calculations, but we cannot convert from inches to centimeters, but we can convert it to what? To millimeters, and then from millimeters, that's where you're gonna take it to centimeters. So if you check, we are given 1 millimeters is equals to 0.0394 inches. So we are converting to what? From inches to millimeters. Millimeters, we have to write x is equals to the inches. The height is given in inches, which is 4.3 inches. The inch and inch will cancel. Then you do the cross multiplication. We have x multiplied by 0.0394, which is the same as 0.0394x is equals to 4.3 multiplied by 1 millimeters is the same as 4.3 millimeters. We divide everything by 0.0394, everything by 0.0394. This and this will cancel. Our x is now equals to, we have now managed to convert everything to 2 millimeters. 4.3 divided by 0.0394. We found that in millimeters, this is 109.14 millimeters. I rounded this. So the question never said that we should convert this to millimeters. It said that we should convert this to what? To centimeters. So don't forget the King Harry. King Harry died miserable. They have called malaria 1000000. So now we are converting from millimeters to centimeters. Millimeters to centimeters. Millimeters and centimeters is this. So the converting factor between the two is 10. So what we need to do here, we just divide here by 10. When we divide here by 10, we are now going to find that is the same as 10.0 10.91 centimeters. 10.91 centimeters. Now we have converted this. 10.91 centimeters. So moving to the next question. The next question says that calculate the total number of mini aquarium tanks Nikki will be able to place in the bottom row to maximize the space along the length of the wall. So we can see this is what we are now dealing with packaging. So the space. So this is the information that we have. Let's look at the length. The length that we have here is 12 plus 5. To maximum, don't forget, 12 plus 5 is equals to 17 centimeters. Then don't forget that 5 is what? Is the gap. It's a space between each mini aquarium. You should not forget that, okay? So the number, lengthwise, we have lengthwise is going to be the length of a wall divided by the length of this aquarium. The length of a wall is given by 199. And then the length of this aquarium, we are going to use the 17 because we have to add that space. We have to use that space. So now we can see that along the length, we are going to say 199 divided by 17. Packaging, we always round down. You should not forget, is 11. 11 of them along the length. Packaging, we always round down. Please do not forget that. How many of them, if we can check here, how many of them? How many of them? We can see that there are 11. 11. So we are now going to say therefore 17 centimeters multiplied by 11, and we are saying that each one is going to take 17 centimeters, and they are 11. We found that this is the space that they're going to accommodate, or the space they're going to take is 187 centimeters. It's 187 centimeters. And if you can check, the length is 199. So the difference is going to be 199 minus 187. We found that the space that remained there is 12 centimeters. We have 12 centimeters that will remain. 12 centimeters that will remain, and the entire aquarium is 12 centimeters without a space. So we can still fit one within these 12 centimeters. I believe you understand what I'm saying. Because if you can check here, they said aquarium is 12 centimeters and we also have 5 centimeters. So this alone, it takes 12 centimeters. So within that 11 centimeters, we can also add 1 with the space that remains. So we have 12 that will fit there. 12 of them will be able to fit in them. So this is how we answer that question.